Hey, what's happening, PO? It is That Is What She Said here, bringing you a first round battle from the Pokemon Online YouTube tournament between the real Elmo and Crobat. This was match number 2 of a best of 3 series, and we joined the series with Elmo up 1-0, so it's a winner-go-home battle for Crobat. And it turns out to be a well-contested fight between two quality battlers. Let's take a look at the team preview to start. Elmo's running a team consisting of Tauros, Simisear, Musharna, Gabite, Wartortle, and Fearow, whereas Crobat's team consists of Rotom, Skuntank, Camerupt, Vigoroth, Poliwrath, and Meganium. The key for Elmo will be breaking through Crobat's walls, particularly Poliwrath, whereas Crobat's going to look to abuse Rotom and Skuntank, neither of which Elmo has a clear answer for. This battle was fought in the Gen 6 Pokemon Online YouTube tournament tier. If you're unfamiliar with the setup of the tournament, basically each Pokemon is assigned a point value, and the total point value of the team is required to be under 10 points for round 1. Both players nicknamed their Mons based on how many points they were worth, so that's what's up with the nicknames you'll see here in a bit. Anyways, enough of that, let's get on into the battle. Crobat's going to lead off with Rotom, which like I said, Elmo has trouble dealing with, while Elmo leads off with Gabite, trying to get up rocks. Crobat shows Sub, Life Orb, and Elmo does set up his Stealth Rocks. Crobat gets a pretty important Shadow Ball crit and special defense drop on Gabite here, making it a clean 2-hit KO as Elmo breaks the Sub. But Elmo's going to make some really good plays here using Dragon Claw, predicting the Sub, and Crobat's going to be forced out lest you want to lose Rotom to the combination of Life Orb and Stealth Rocks next time he switches in. Crobat does make a bit of a misplay here, trying to bring in his specially defensive Camerupt to get up rocks, which takes a hefty 49% from Dragon Claw, and Crobat then goes out into his Poliwrath, which tanks the incoming Earthquake. Elmo goes into Wartortle as Poliwrath scalds, and Elmo's going to go for the Toxic, which unfortunately misses, and he's then phased out into Musharna by Circle Throw. Crobat predicts the Psychic, but Elmo makes a nice play here and soft scouts with Baton Pass to avoid the incoming Skuntank, which is pretty key because Skuntank poses a major threat to his team. Elmo takes his chance to go out into his Intimidate Tauros and fire off an Earthquake, but Crobat predicts this nicely and goes into his Meganium, which proves to be specially defensive based on the roll. Elmo goes out into his Fearow while Crobat Leech Seeds, and Fearow is going to threaten Meganium with Stab's super effective flying attacks, and he's going to go for the Drill Peck, but Crobat's going to stay in, and he's actually going to overpredict and Leech Seed again, expecting a U-turn. So not wanting to lose Meganium, Crobat's going to switch out here, go out into his defensive Vigoroth, and Elmo's going to be forced out, not wanting to let the Vigoroth set up, and he's going to go out into his Wartortle as Crobat bulks up. Crobat's going to make a nice prediction here, and he's going to taunt as Elmo tries to use Toxic. Elmo's going to go for the Scald, and Crobat, not wanting to risk the burn, is simply going to go for the 2-hit KO with return for a 6-5 lead. Elmo's going to take the chance to go out into his Simisear and finish off Vigoroth with an Overheat, tying the game at 5 apiece. And based on the lack of recoil, I'd guess that's a spec set. Crobat takes his chance to go out into his Camerupt and finally get up rocks, which is pretty important since it'll limit Simisear and Fearow's ability to come in. Elmo goes out into Gabite, and he's going to Dragon Claw as Crobat goes out into Poliwrath, which is proven pretty tough for Elmo to break through. Elmo's going to go out into Musharna, but Crobat's going to Sleep Talk a Circle Throw and phase him right out into Fearow. Elmo goes for the Drill Peck, which unfortunately isn't even a 2-hit KO, despite being super effective stab, but this won't matter as Crobat manages to land yet another Sleep Talk Circle Throw, bringing Fearow down to a range where it cannot switch in again due to Stealth Rocks. So Elmo's got his Musharna in on Poliwrath again, and it's looking pretty bleak for him since this Musharna is his best shot at breaking through the Poliwrath, but he doesn't want to risk letting it get trapped by Skuntank. This time Crobat's going to get the better of the predictions as he rests up, while Elmo again soft scouts for the Skuntank with Baton Pass. Elmo goes out into his Tauros and attempting to break through is going to go for the Double Edge, which looks like it'll be a clean 3-hit KO, but Crobat lands a Scald crit on the Sleep Talk, which Tauros survives with just 1%. Crobat's going to preserve his Poliwrath here, sacking Meganium to the Tauros, which kills itself in recoil, so the score remains tied at 4 apiece. Elmo takes his chance to bring in Musharna while Crobat goes out into his Camerupt, and lacking a good switch in, Elmo finally goes for the Psychic to finish off the Camerupt for a 4-3 lead, but this leaves Musharna open to be trapped by Skuntank. Skuntank shows Poison Jab, likely meaning he doesn't carry Crunch, and Elmo moonlights back up to full health, predicting a pursuit. Musharna cannot touch Skuntank, so Elmo sacks his Fearow, while Crobat actually goes for the Defog, which was a major misplay, since with 2 Stealth Rock weak Mons, it would benefit Elmo far more than himself. Unfortunately for Elmo, since there was no target, this fails, and the game is again tied at 3 apiece. Elmo takes his free switch-in to bring in his Sincere, and with no good switch-in, Crobat goes for the Sucker Punch, and Elmo is able to KO this Skuntank with an Overheat for a 3-2 lead. Crobat goes out into Poliwrath, and with Rocks up, Elmo just lets his Sincere die, and he misses an Overheat that probably would not have done a ton, and the game's tied yet again at 2 apiece. Elmo takes this chance to go out into Gabite, probably just trying to sack it off so Crobat can no longer phase out Musharna. Crobat does end up KOing it with Scald for a 2-1 lead, and Elmo's going to bring out his Musharna here to try and attempt a last mon stand. Crobat's going to Sleep Talk a Scald and nab a Burn, while Elmo gets a special defense drop on the Psychic. Musharna will eventually break through the Poliwrath here, but Crobat's going to try and bring it down to where it is at low enough health such that it will be KO'd by Rotom Shadow Ball. Elmo shows Heal Bell on Musharna, and without the residual burn damage, Elmo should be able to emerge at near full health. Elmo Psychics Poliwrath down to 8% and then Moonlights back up to full health. Crobat's final Scald does not burn, and Musharna finishes off Poliwrath with 90% health left. So with 1 Mon left apiece, Crobat goes back out into Rotom, who cannot KO at this range. However, Crobat does show Pain Split and survives the Psychic with 21% and is able to KO the Musharna for a 1-0 victory. So yeah, really close battle with some great predictions on both ends. Crobat had the team advantage, but Elmo made some really good plays to make it very, very close. If you're interested in the series, Elmo did go on to win Game 3 in another close match. So, great play on both ends. I hope you guys liked this battle. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you want to see more videos from POSimulator, click subscribe. That's all I got. I am ThatIsWhatSheSaid, and I am out of here. Peace.